Universal design for learning calls us to focus our attention on the design of learning experiences and the learning environment. Many of these learning experiences happen within the walls of a classroom and between teachers and learners. However, there are many other aspects of school life that influence the crucial relationship between learner, teacher, and learning design. In this module, we will introduce 4 school domains which can influence the development of expert learners, including school culture and environment, teaching and learning, leadership and management, and professional learning. Indeed, it is often easy to underestimate how the structures and practices of school across these domains may either promote or constrain learning and the development of expert learners. While these domains are derived from the UDL certification, they are important to consider whether you intend to pursue school certification or not. First, let's consider school culture and environment. A UDL school community works together to design a culture and environment that recognizes, values, and designs for learner variability. Rather than ranking learners according to a narrow set of skills and knowledge, in a UDL school, cultural expectations call the community to celebrate variability and diversity, and the capacities and experiences of all learners, including students, educators, parents, and even community members. To create this culture, all members of a school community might consider everything from their communication practices and the accessibility of digital spaces to their orientation toward success and failure. While shaping culture may at times seem like trying to hold and manipulate intangible objects, a culture can reinforce or actively undercut the success of UDL in supporting the development of expert learners and the school-wide implementation of UDL. For example, if there are strong messages about the importance of agency, accessibility, and embracing variability coming from teachers, but the message on the bulletin boards, the town newspaper, and in the report cards is that we celebrate those with the highest achievement or GPA, the very public messages of achievement will win the day. Teaching and learning is the beating heart of UDL implementation. Learning opportunities are designed to support learner variability so that every member of the community can become an expert learner. The UDL framework and guidelines are used to proactively design environments and curricula to reduce barriers and ensure flexible goals, methods, materials, feedback, and assessment. This is typically where schools begin their implementation work. It is important to remember that teaching and learning covers not only the design of learning experiences and environments in the classroom, but also a curriculum selection process focused on flexibility, regular review of data of all kinds to inform instructional decision-making for social, emotional, physical learning, as well as academic learning, flexible assessment and reporting practices that support a growth mindset and mastery orientation, among many others. UDL leadership and management, throughout the process of implementation, embraces the variability of adults and supports their development as expert learners by cultivating agency and leadership at all levels of the school. The planning process, which for some schools may involve radical changes of culture and practice, needs to include broad representation from all corners of the school. To create a truly inclusive process, leaders must find ways to include parents and students as well. We are asking educators to think and practice differently, to adopt a new mindset, to see their classroom and even their role in a new way. This kind of change is much deeper than implementing a new curriculum and can only be accomplished if educators are involved and interested in the big picture planning. Leaders must nourish and provide space for developing a UDL mindset. Any new practice and way of thinking requires experimentation and the positive reinforcement of deep, empathetic collaboration. Leaders need to model this work by trying out new practices themselves and giving and receiving judgment-free feedback. Finally, leaders must take their place at the forefront of an examination of school structures that either support or interfere with the development of expert learning for all school community members. This means reconsidering everything from school schedules, staffing, and cafeteria rules, even the building itself, to the teacher evaluation process, report cards, honor roll, and awards, all of the ways we seek to organize and influence time, space, and resources. Leaders can build this culture of open design by leading with questions like, does this decision or practice increase or decrease barriers to engagement? How is information represented so that all have access? How can all learners express what they know? What opportunities are lost for everyone to be expert learners? What learning goals are embedded or implicit in this practice, and are they accessible to everyone? Finally, professional learning, both about UDL and other topics, must promote both the collective strategic growth of the community of educators and also the individual growth of each professional in response to their own understanding of student learning and built upon direct, generous, mastery-oriented feedback. Professional learning should be situated within the classroom whenever possible and designed to encourage the use of reflection and data to identify professional growth opportunities and to set and align learning goals with rich, relevant, and rigorous professional learning activities and resources. Everything from workshops to instructional rounds to lesson study to professional learning communities and coaching should be focused on the expert learning of teachers and students. As you can see, UDL implementation engages every muscle of a school in a strategic and coordinated way. Planning for this implementation is complex, not only because the goal is to shift the thinking, design, and instructional practice of educators, but also because of the breadth of application of a UDL approach across so many different areas of school and with so many different stakeholders. As you can see, the work of these modules is just the beginning of a long, involved process with tremendous rewards, access for all to the pursuit of expert learning.